I am live, but I don't know if anybody's going to come on with me because it's been so long and I don't really do much of this right now because my life is different. But I think it's important because I haven't come on since the IPCC report and talked about anything. And today, let me get this thing right. Today, I came on because I was channel surfing. And I channel surfed and I landed on MSNBC. And usually I go to Free Speech TV if I'm going to watch the TV at all because I like Amy Goodman in Democracy Now! So MSNBC had something on about their top... Hi, Kim. Okay, we got Kim with us. But MSNBC had something on about their top 5 things that in some poll... Now, I didn't go back, I didn't tape it, I didn't relook at it, but it was some poll that was taken, and I think it might have been, what is it that voters are worried about? Some kind of poll like that. Top 5, climate change, not even in it. And it disturbed me all fucking day, all day. It's disturbed me because it just gives me that feeling like this is not a joke. And mainstream media, they're not going to tell anybody. And the clueless people out there, it's just very sad. There's a lot of us that know and are awake. And then there's those that just, maybe it's better to be that way. But I was really disturbed by that this morning. I don't watch that stuff anymore. No. Much. When I do, it's only because I want to keep my finger on the pulse. I want to feel relevant, and I don't feel very relevant in life right now. And I wanted to then segue, because that disturbed me so much, I have been following Jem Bendell, who is from, what is it, Cambria? I'll read to you where he's from after. He did a talk at Cumbria University. He's kind of cool, and I'm going to read this to you. Whoever's with me, I can't see numbers or much or anything, and it doesn't really matter anyway. I need to get this out because it is, I don't know, who is it up to? Everything you read out there, people say, well, the vote's not going to matter, but then the vote does matter. And, I keep a healthy dose of hopium that gets me through the day. Peter. Hi, Peter. He's a bit, we'll talk about that after, but let me finish. He's okay. He's okay. I talked to him last night. He's okay. Jem Bendell. Let's get back there. Bendell. He said in an article that he wrote, and I've been thinking about this article ever since I read it. He wrote it on October 8th. And I've been really stewing about these things, not really thinking as much as I used to because I'm not doing this to talk to anybody. But he says in his article, some words missing from the IPCC SR 15 summary for policymakers are as follows: catastrophe, collapse, starvation, emergency, apology, and sorry. And he says, so what to do? Lots of things, but here are a few. So I'm just going to read off this little box, and we'll go from there. I'm uncomfortable as usual, but I'm going to move around. Okay, so he says, seed clouds in the Arctic and Antarctic at scale immediately, and research the impacts. Research how else to stop methane escaping the Arctic shelf off Siberia and try it. Global carbon tax embedded in trade agreements right now. Implement means of drawing down carbon from the atmosphere by restoring and growing natural carbon sinks, including transformation of modern agriculture right now. Hi, Marcia. Oh, okay. Then he says, explore how to prepare for collapse locally and globally within a deep adaptation framing, which doesn't assume or try to preserve our current ideas of development and progress. This is in itself a huge agenda involving everyone, and seriously under-discussed because it has hitherto been taboo. Next thing, do not dismiss ideas on what to do now because they do not fit with your story of self or reality, which gives you a sense of confidence or calm. Our attachment to our stories is what got us into this mess in the first place. Look within at what you most value as if these are our last years on earth and we won't succeed in achieving collective goals on development or environment. That means deeply adapting ourselves to collapse and its lessons for humanity and self. The last one is important because nothing is now likely to work in preventing a near-term social collapse due to climate change. But it is also important because it always was important. After all, why are we here? So I don't think he gives a dose of hopium. I don't think he gives a dose of hope necessarily. I think he gives the prescription of action, and without consequence, without worrying about the outcome. If we can't change it, so what? Let's do it anyway. I've been saying this. And, I had a quote. My quote was, well, I'd love to see all this happen. And I'd like to see it transpire while I'm expiring. Because I am going to expire, obviously. And whether the 12 years or whatever the time period is or whatever, why can't we just do something? And we're not going to. The right is got a hold. It's all over the world. We've got this circus in the United States that we've become. And I don't want to be depressing. I've been awfully, low, but I want to see these professors and these scientists and the younger people do it no matter what. What have you got to lose? Do it. Put all of these ideas into force. And if you have to, try to work politically. Whatever you do, just do something. And I'm not begging other people to do it. Believe me, if I was able, I'd be out there doing so much more activism that's hands-on. I can't. But I implore the younger people to do it and start getting yourself involved with people like Jem Bendell and the Deep Adaptation and Stuart Scott, We Don't Have Time, and the climate mobilization. I always say this. Don't give up, even though it looks like WASF. Don't give up. I'm trying to put that principle in my own life. It is not easy at this point in my life, but we shouldn't give up. And encourage those that want to do these things to do them. If we sit back and we wallow in our misery, we'll never know. And I myself want to see it. It's a theater of the absurd in a way. To those of us that do follow and understand and aren't in, watching MSNBC, not having climate change in the top 5 concerns of people they polled. And this is supposed to be a lefty media thing, and climate change isn't in there. That's what started on me this morning. So it is what it is. Don't give up. No matter how shitty the outcome could be. Peace, guys. Thanks for coming. Mwah.